Hello and welcome to P-Tech, and today we're going to be having a look at the iPhone X. This phone came out almost 2 years ago at this point, and as we now have the leaks of the iPhone 11, is it worth buying the iPhone X in 2019 as your daily driver? In November of 2017, the iPhone X was released, and I rushed out and I got it, and I've had it since day one, and it's been my daily driver for almost the entirety of those 2 years. When the iPhone X was released, it was a huge redesign. It was the biggest redesign Apple had done since the iPhone 6. But 2 years on, is it still worth buying it in 2019? And I kind of think it is, and I'll go over why I think so, but we'll start with the design of the phone. The iPhone X is identical to that of the XS, and from what we know in the leaks that have come out, we think it's going to be exactly the same design on the iPhone 11 as well, with the exception of the camera. It has a stainless steel band that runs across the side of the phone, and I found it to be pretty durable in the 2 years that I've had it. It's got very minor scratches and a scuff on the corner of the phone from where I dropped it quite a while ago, but other than that, it holds up really well. Apple also reintroduced the glass back for the iPhone X, and we hadn't seen that since the iPhone 4. The all glass back makes the phone feel really premium, and it adds that extra feature that we've been waiting for quite a while, which is wireless charging. If you think you won't use wireless charging, trust me, you will. It's brilliant. The full screen display is almost a given now on any flagship phone. So is either a camera cutout or a notch, and the iPhone X brought the notch for the very first time. People mocked Apple for putting that notch on the iPhone, but it's been incorporated into every single smartphone almost since 2017. After a couple of hours of using the phone, you don't even realize it's there, and you get used to it fairly quickly. As part of the notch on the iPhone X, it brought Face ID. Apple decided to get rid of their Touch ID, which they'd had on the iPhone since the iPhone 5, and Face ID is excellent. It works almost all of the time, in low light conditions, in extreme sunlight, and it very rarely fails. As we're talking about the screen, it's a 5.8-inch OLED with HDR display. And if you're one of these people that crave to know how many pixels per inch a phone has, then this has 458 of them. But what that means really is that if you're using your phone for films or a lot of YouTube, then it's going to be an excellent display. Even though the iPhone X came out 2 years ago at this point, it's still extremely quick. I've used this phone as my daily driver since the day it came out, and I haven't noticed any dramatic drop in speed at all. And you wouldn't expect it to get any slower, considering it came with Apple's A11 Bionic chip. I have my phone running on iOS 13, and if anything, I've seen speed improvements in some of the native apps. So this has support for the next couple of years, going from iOS 13 to 14, 15, and almost possibly 16 as well. So one of the things that you should probably want to look out for when buying this phone is the battery, and it's shipped with a battery of just over 2,700 milliamp hours. And 2 years ago, that wasn't a problem. It would get you through a day's usage fairly easily. But now, a couple of years on, most battery healths on the iPhones will have deteriorated and probably be sitting around about 80%. And anything below 80% means that you're going to need to keep a charger quite close by throughout the day. But anything above 80% should see you through fairly well. If you're looking just to do social media and gaming and a few other day-to-day activities on the iPhone X, then you're not going to notice any sort of speed deterioration at all. And it's still as quick as it was on day one. The cameras on the iPhone are pretty good, and the main camera has a 12 megapixel sensor with the ability to record up to 4K at 60 frames per second. One of the main features for the camera on the iPhone X is the portrait mode, and you can see from this photo here that it does handle it fairly well. But when you move over to the front-facing camera, that's when portrait mode sometimes can fail you a little bit, and it's only got a 7 megapixel sensor and can record video in 1080p. A few other things that the iPhone X has going for it, which don't get mentioned that much anymore, is that it's IP68 water and dust resistant. It also has fast charging, but that's something that people don't talk about that often because Apple does not include a fast charging power brick in the box, which even 2 years ago seemed insane. Samsung and Google have been doing it for years, and Apple, if you're watching, please include a fast charger in the new iPhone 11 box. I've had the iPhone X for almost 2 years at this point, and it's been my daily phone for almost all of that time. And in 2019, I do think there is a place for the iPhone X. If you're wanting to buy an iPhone X in 2019, it is worth it, but only if you get it second hand. Have a look on eBay and Marketplace. You can get these for between £400 and £500. That might be for the 64GB model, but I don't think you need more than 65 gig. If you're worried about losing space for photos and videos, then either pay a bit extra and get iCloud, or download the Google Photos app, which gives you unlimited storage for photos. The final word on the iPhone X is yes, I do think it's worth buying in 2019. There might be an argument to say that paying a couple of £100 more for the iPhone XR might be worth it, and yes, the camera has improved a little bit on that phone. The screen is worse though, but the software and the performance of the phone is a little bit newer, so it might be a little bit more smooth. So that's a decision that you would have to make. Personally, I would still go with the iPhone 10 just because of how much cheaper it is. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful at all or just enjoyed it, then please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and if you want to follow me on socials, you can do that because I'll leave links below. And if you're going to buy an iPhone 10 in 2019, comment below and let me know why you think it's a great phone for you. But until next time, see you later.